That Metal Interview.
Edge of Paradise is the band we focus on this episode of That Metal Interview, as we are graced with the time of Margarita Monet, lead vocalist, frontwoman for Edge of Paradise. And many thanks to Frontiers Music, who always provide great, awesome bands, old and new. So thank you to them for providing the music of Edge of Paradise. The Unknown is the title of the brand new album. You guys should check that out. Buy the album. If you guys want to buy a vinyl, CD, blah, blah, blah. You guys want to stream it, download it, or just check it out. The Unknown, Edge of Paradise is the name of the band. Check it out, man. Awesome music. And we spend time with Margarita. So let's check out the latest video, their latest song. Let's check out their latest single and video, Tidal Wave. Here's Tidal Wave by Edge of Paradise. We'll be right back.
And I'm in this race, won't let the madness bring me down. I'm a tidal wave, I'll rise above the lies. I'm a tidal wave, I'll find a way to take back my life. Like a tidal wave, I'll rip through your heart. I'm a tidal wave, I'm a tidal wave.
What do you guys think, man? Some cool shit or what? Awesome stuff for sure. And congrats to the guys in Edge of Paradise and to Margarita for their great work on this brand new album as she speaks to us on the direction of the band and their futuristic videos, man. So she answers many of those questions. So here we go, man. Enjoy it. Here's Margarita Monet of Edge of Paradise. Yeah, I saw a couple. I saw a couple of her interviews. I did a little bit of homework, and you seem like a singer ready to go out there and take over the world. Cool.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
I heard you were from Houston, Texas, right? Or you're raised in Houston?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, well, originally I'm from Russia, but we moved to Houston when I was like 11. So I pretty much grew up in Texas. Then I went to New York and then LA. So kind of been all over the place.
That's cool. I'm in Texas, so it's cool to talk to a fellow Texan.
Oh, very cool. What part?
I'm in Eagle Pass. It's about a couple hours from San Antonio.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've been to San Antonio many times, and yeah, I know Texas pretty well. We toured there quite a bit, so hoping to get back on the road soon, when the world gets back to some sort of normalcy.
That's cool. We'll talk about that right now. The Unknown Frontiers Music. Can you talk to us about this album? Who wrote the riffs, the lyrics? I kind of know that you and David do most of the stuff, right? But can you talk to us about that?
Yeah. So The Unknown is our fourth album. It's probably our most cinematic, heaviest, and definitely most meaningful album to date. We took it up a new level because basically, if you heard our previous album, Universe, The Unknown is a continuation of Universe. It's just on a whole new level. And the writing process was kind of interesting for this one because we wrote it over 2020 during the pandemic. We had a lot of tours planned, and when everything got canceled, we pretty much spent the whole time at the studio, and it was the first time for us where we were able to focus on just the music, because before we usually either toured and kind of recorded in between or had something come up, like music videos. Like, we never actually had the opportunity to just focus entirely on making the album. So this was kind of nice. And some songs started with me on the piano, others, I like to, especially with this one, I really kind of took it to a new level with all the sounds, like cinematic sounds, industrial sounds, and just experimented a lot on the keyboard and, with melodies and stuff. And then Dave, we kind of go back and forth. He puts in guitar riffs, and that kind of inspires me to add to it or change something up. And when I write the keyboard parts, that inspires the words and the melody. So I kind of write at the same time melodies and the words. So in some songs, like usually like the heavier songs, Dave starts it on the guitar riff, and that inspires me to go off of that. So it usually depends on who starts the songs, but we go back and forth until we have some sort of a demo. Then our drummer Jamie adds the rhythmic elements to it, the drums. Then we take the demo to our producer. This time it was Mike Plotnikov and Neil Sanderson, and I put the vocals on it, and we really solidify the song, and then we rebuild it. We start with the drums, guitars, bass, keyboards, and the vocals on top. And for this album, I actually, Howard Benson, he is one of our producers also, and he came into the picture a little bit down the process. So I recorded a lot of vocals with him, and he really brought out a new a new level for me as a singer. So and then when all the files, all the tracks are ready, we send them off to Denmark for Jacob Hansen to mix, and he brings everything to life. So that's kind of our process. Wow,
very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a musician myself here in my local area. Just local club stuff. Nothing like you guys. National, international. So. But I understand the recording process and all that. So doing the tracks, and for people that don't know, right? People that ask, first you got to record the tracks instrument by instrument, or sometimes
Yeah.
like old school, the whole band at the same time, and then work on
Mhm.
vocals, and so it's a process, so that's cool. So,
Thank you.
uh,
Yeah, it's like building a house in
right,
a way.
right, yeah, yeah, you got to build the floor first, and then so
Yeah.
the songs that I heard, the videos that us fans heard from you guys are great. And congrats on that. That sounds badass, awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Did you guys decide to write a certain way, or did you just start writing whatever came out and what you felt at the time?
Honestly, everything was a really long process for us because we started the band 10 years ago, and like Dave and I, we came from very different backgrounds. So I think for us, it took quite a few years to really figure out how to write together what we wanted to sound like. And you can't really force or predict these things because
Yeah.
it just doesn't work. So
Yeah.
I think it took us quite a few years to really come to this point, and we got on this path, I think, with our EP Alive, which we released after our second album, Immortal Waltz. And Alive, I think I started to come into myself like as a singer, and then I started to experiment with more of like industrial and rhythmic elements, and we started to kind of find something we grabbed onto, and that led us to Universe. And I think Universe really defined our sound, and that was our debut release with the Frontiers Records as well. And I think with that we really kind of found what we wanted to sound like, and just I think like we really matured as songwriters as well. And and that led us to this album. So but yeah, it was everything is a long journey.
Right.
We really started from not like we started from zero. Like we had to break down so many walls. Like it was not an easy path, and still is. It's a long journey, but it's a fun one.
It's worth it, huh? It's worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
So I understand that Neil was added on this recording. Neil Sanderson, right? How was it? What did he bring to the table? What's different there?
Yeah, it was actually really interesting because when we called up Mike, and Mike also produced our Universe album, and he was like, "Hey, I'm working on 3 Days Grace record," and Neil, he also produces artists, and would you mind if he sits in on the session and has some contributions maybe? And we were like, yeah, of course, why not? So we instantly hit it off with him. Like, he's a really cool guy, and he's super easy and fun to work with. And it was interesting because like 3 Days Grace and us, like we're very we're a little bit of different styles.
Yeah.
So he like I tend to really I like using like big words, and like I go really in depth of stuff, and then he really focuses on simplicity of things.
Oh, okay.
And we had to find that balance, and I think he really helped me to get rid of what didn't need to be there, so the important stuff can really come through. So all the songs really flow, and everything that within the songs really need to be there. And like honestly, sometimes we we were like, no, this has to stay in there. And we're like, yeah, okay, because like we still wanted to keep Edge of Paradise. So it was interesting to find that balance between complexity and simplicity, so the songs are accessible yet interesting and still sound like us. But he really opened up my eyes to some things, like just from the writing perspective, and just to make sure that all the words come through, because and now I recognize that sometimes when you do try to put too much stuff in a certain time frame, it gets lost. It's not as impactful.
Yeah.
So to me, it was definitely helpful to work with him, and he's just really fun to work with as well. Him and Mike, we talked about like every conspiracy theory, like during the pandemic, and just it was fun. So
Cool stories there. So take us back to the beginning of Margarita, of yourself. How did you first know you could sing, or how old were you when you knew you could you had a voice, you know?
Honestly, like life kind of, I just follow where life takes me in a way because, I mean, I did start in music really young. I think I was like 4, but I started playing piano, and that was my focus. I never actually sang before. I never sang till maybe like high school. I did some musical theater, and like I went to music school in Russia, and we did have a choir class and theory, and it was like a music school, but I never thought of myself as a singer. I never tried to like develop that or focus on that. um like I did watch, my parents had tapes of like Led Zeppelin and Queen,
Yeah.
and I watched those, and I never in a million years imagined that I could do anything close to that. So it was just never on my mind. And then so I went to New York, and I studied theater, music, and then I took some astronomy classes because I was always really interested in like science and astronomy. My dad is a scientist, so it was always like
Oh, wow.
fascinated with everything. Yeah. And then when something made me want to move to Los Angeles. I still don't really know what, because I really love New York. So when I moved to LA, I was just trying to do everything just to survive. And then I got into this dance singing group, and the producer there asked me to write a song because I could play the piano. So, we wrote a song together, and it kind of turned out to be more of a rock song. And that's how we kind of met Dave. We just randomly walked into a music store, and Dave was playing Welcome to the Jungle. He was doing like a guitar clinic.
Oh,
The
yeah.
producer goes like, hey, like, we need a guitar solo. Like, will you do it for $50? And Dave was like, okay, I think he, wanted to talk to me or something. So, so that's how we met. And Dave at the time, he also, like, he had a band called Bleed with Robin. He put together like an 80s supergroup
Cool.
with Robin McCauley, like Tony Franklin. But all those guys, they went on tour with their projects that they were involved in. So Dave never really had anyone to do a band with him that would put 100% or as much as he did. So when we met, like, we wanted to create something and really dedicate our time and effort and just kind of take it to the highest levels, and we had similar work ethics. So that's why we decided to start a band, and we really didn't know like where it's gonna go. And the first album, Mask, the reason it sounds so different is because all those songs he wrote with Robin before he even met me. So I just re-sang those songs, and I think it kind of gave me a chance to learn how to sing. And and then we just kind of evolved it from there.
Well, talk about destiny. Wow, that's cool. Talk about the perfect match, right place at the right time. Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
definitely things happen for a reason in a way.
So right now you mentioned your dad is a scientist. Does
Yeah.
that mean you're into science too, into different things? Like, is there aliens out there or stuff like that?
Well, I mean, that's why though. I think people read lyrics to my songs. I think they get where I find inspiration from. But yeah, I mean, I love all that stuff, and it's so interesting how fast everything is evolving.
Right.
Like something, I talk a lot about like the song Digital Paradise, and it's kind of about finding immortality through artificial intelligence and kind of uploading your consciousness into computer. But like, people think it's like so crazy, but there's so much research being done right now. They were able to map like a brain of a fly. So like, it's not that far off, and it seems crazy, but I guess the question is, will it actually be you, or just like a digital copy of you, and it's like human suicide? So
Wow.
it's interesting to talk about. Yeah, and
very interesting.
And like, I love reading about possibility of different dimensions, and just like all kinds of stuff like that, and it really inspires me to write songs about that. But then again, I put like all the songs have emotion and feeling of human feelings and emotions that I go through on a daily basis. That's also relatable. So
Yeah, regular everyday things in life. Yeah. Yeah. Back to the aliens. I think I don't think we're alone here. I think I know it's off the subject, but I mean I do believe there's something else out there, and I watch. I don't know if you heard of Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's
Yeah, of course.
the podcast. Yeah, I watch that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, and it's very interesting. Some of his subjects about that kind of stuff. You know, the artificial intelligence and all that.
Yeah.
Aliens and conspiracies, and very very interesting. Cool. Yeah, and I can see some of that stuff in your videos. It's futuristic and digital paradise. It's there. That's why I'm asking you, because your videos are kind of like that, right? Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I always take an approach to, when someone asks me if I believe in anything, like I never say I don't believe in anything, because I think there's so much out there we don't know, and every day there's like a new discovery of something that seemed impossible before. Like, I would say, imagine if you give like an iPhone to someone who lived 500 years ago, like it would seem impossible, but I think it's important to have an open mind. So it's like a doorway to the future is to have an open mind, so we could discover those possibilities.
Wow, imagine that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a whole different subject, a whole different story, right?
True.
So-
Yeah.
So, anyways, back to that was a cool subject. Back to Age of Paradise. Who came up with the name, and why that name? What's behind the name?
Yeah, I think when we came out, well, Dave and I came up with it, and I think at the time we really drew it from living in Los Angeles, because, to maybe people outside of LA, it kind of seems like a paradise, like, oh, you got the ocean, the palm trees, like LA, always sunny, but it's, in a way, it's a bit of false paradise.
Right.
Like that song "Land of Broken Dreams." Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to living in LA, and people kind of live on the edge. One wrong move, and you're like right off the edge. It's hard to
Right.
get back on. So yeah, so I think that was the inspiration at the time.
Yeah, I've been to LA, and it's just, it looks like a busy place. It's like a fast life. Or compared to
Oh yeah, it's
Where I'm- compared-
complete rat race out here.
very very busy. So besides keyboards, what else do you play? What other instrument do you know how to play?
Well, recently I played theremin. I don't know if that counts. It's like, I don't know, do you know what a theremin is?
What? I'm sorry.
So a theremin, it's like
Oh yeah.
First.
The little like a
Yeah.
stick kind of. Yeah.
it's like it goes off the radio frequencies, and you kind of
Oh.
move your hand, and so Howard actually gave it to me so I could make some sounds for some of the songs, and it was so hard to play, so frustrating, because tiny little hand movement, like the thing goes crazy.
Right.
It was kind of fun, but yeah, I mean, I mostly play keyboards, and I let everything, I let the other guys handle everything else.
Well, theremin. So you do a little bit of theremin. Cool.
Yeah, it makes cool noises. So.
Yeah, I've seen it in a couple of videos and stuff. Different documentaries and stuff. That's cool. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
how would you categorize your music, your genre? I mean, you're not symphonic metal. You're not I don't know,
Yeah.
right?
That's been a question for many years, because people always like, what do you call it? The funny thing is, people in Europe call us like American rock or metal, and then people here, they're like, oh, you guys are kind of European symphonic. But the thing is, we're kind of in between, because in Europe, like, symphonic metal is definitely a little more oriented on the strings, that symphonic element, and like more of an operatic voice. I'm kind of in between. Like, we're definitely a rock band. I think we just call ourselves like cinematic rock band with industrial and symphonic elements. But yeah,
Right.
it's hard to kind of categorize. Yeah.
Yeah, because when I first saw you guys, like your pictures, your promo pics, and all that, and your videos a couple of years ago, I thought you guys were from Europe. Because I confused you guys with Epica, and
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. I mean, we have a little bit of that. And I think at the time maybe we were heading more of that direction, just because people were like, "Oh, you guys sound so European." So we're like, "Oh, we like Europe, so why not?" But
Yeah.
I mean, lately I think we really found ourselves now. So yeah, I mean, we are what we are right now. I don't know. So wherever we fit in, but we do want to go everywhere. Like, we love touring Europe, we love touring US. We just want to get back out there. Like, Japan was really fun. We'd love to go back there.
You guys been to Japan?
So yeah, we were lucky. We got to go in 2019.
Wow.
We had such a great time. Yeah, the promoter that brought us out, Yutaka, he was just so awesome. And they took us to a Buddhist temple, and they blessed the band, and like we had a tea ceremony. Like, it was just so cool. And people they love music so much. Like, they really look up to musicians over there, which is so opposite than US. Like, over there, a musician and a doctor is like the same caliber.
Really?
You know, like, yeah, it's completely different.
Wow.
So yeah, we really liked it.
Wow. So now that we're talking about touring and gigs, what's next for yourself and the band? You guys have anything booked? Any gigs coming up?
You know, we were supposed to go to UK in September, but then like, it's still so weird with this pandemic,
Yeah.
like the travel restrictions. It's just, I mean, for us, best thing was to do is to focus on the album and promote it, and release more videos. Like, we have, after the album release, we're actually releasing a cover song of The Who, Love Rain on Me.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have some more content to release, and we're working on tours now. But I think it's probably going to be most likely in the new year. We might play some local shows out here, but like, touring is probably going to start beginning of the new year. So
Yeah,
hopefully we'll know like some specific dates soon, because we're dying to get back out there.
Yeah, we'll go check you out for sure if you come down to San Antonio, Austin.
Oh yeah, we would love to meet you guys. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So speaking about gigs again, give us your best gig and your worst gig so far.
Well, it's hard to say now, like, with the best gig, because, like, for example, we did the European tour, and every gig was so different, but it was so cool at the same time. Like, we went to Eastern Europe, and like, people were completely crazy. Like, they, they're so loud and passionate, so that was super cool. Japan was awesome. The worst gig, I think. Like, when we started out, like, you play on a Monday, like, you book a tour yourself, and like, we played on a Monday to like 2 people.
That happens, right? Yeah.
Oh my God, we've had a lot of those. And then afterwards we hit a deer, and that was not fun.
Really?
And like, we have a lot. Like, we have a story where we like, our bass player found this RV for free. We were like, oh cool, we got an RV. But then we never made it to the gig, because the RV blew out 5 tires on our way to Washington.
Really?
So we have our fair share of stories like that. I hope we can, never go back to those stories again.
You never got to the gigs of the 5 blowouts?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's horrible. What a story right there.
Yeah, right.
So, who are your influences or your heroes? Who do you look up to?
Yeah, I mean, I love so much music, like, different styles. I grew up on classical music, but then I started, I started to get into like Led Zeppelin and Queen. Then I kind of went to Korn. I went through Marilyn Manson phase. I love 9 Inch Nails, Rammstein, and lately I've also loved a lot of soundtracks, like Clint Mansell soundtrack to Requiem for a Dream is my favorite, probably. I love Hans Zimmer's soundtracks. So yeah, and like Dave, he grew up on like Van Halen, Steve Vai, Metallica, Iron Maiden.
Awesome.
So yeah.
It's just a wide range of stuff, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking about bucket lists, what would you ever consider like a duet, maybe a special guest on one of your recordings, one of your songs?
Yeah, I mean, we love collaborating. I mean, we always focus on our songs just because take so much time, but I think down the line it would be really cool to collaborate. Actually, it would be cool to collaborate with someone who does soundtracks, because I can make our song even more epic. But yeah, I don't know. It's like Within Temptation would be really cool. I love their
there you go.
their style, but I also love like Avenged Sevenfold would be cool. I really like his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So never say never.
Never
Maybe
say
one
never.
day.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, you guys are doing great. You guys are whoever's doing your PR and well, for sure it's you too, because you're doing a great job on social media of spreading out the name of Edge of Paradise. You guys are doing great as far as that, and I'm sure Frontiers Music, if they're listening to this, you guys are doing a great job with Edge of Paradise, and congrats on that. So awesome. You guys know how to work your socials. Cool. Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work to keep that going, but it's part of the band, and we love to connect with people, and it's fun. It's fun to keep creating content and sharing it. So, but thank you for saying that. That means a lot.
Yeah, whatever we can do for you guys in Texas, just let us know. Let me know, and we hook you up with a gig or with your booking agent or something.
Thank you so much.
Would you like to send a message to your fans listening to this podcast?
Yes, well, we just want to say a huge thank you to people that listen to our music. Thank you for all those who are just discovering us. Welcome to our world. We're also having a guitar giveaway going. We have an artwork giveaway, because I make art I'm making a painting for each song on this album. So we're doing a bunch of cool giveaways. Join us on our social media to find out how to enter. And we're just really looking forward to meeting you guys at the shows. Like, our favorite thing to do is after the show, go to our spot, our merch table, or wherever we are, and just like meet people and connect with people and say hello. So thank you again, and enjoy the music.
Awesome. Thank you, Margarita. Thank you it was a great time talking to you and chatting. We appreciate it, us fans, and keep the good music coming out, and we're looking forward to see you on the road.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It was really fun to chat, and thank you.
The Unknown. Don't forget to pick it up, stream it, download it, purchase it, visit them on their website. On their socials, you can find Edge of Paradise, the brand new album by the title of The Unknown. Awesome stuff. Brand new single, title Wave. And thank you to Margarita. Great time chatting and great time going over her career and the future of the band, of course. So congrats to them, and catch them on the road. At your favorite venue. You can catch Margarita and Edge of Paradise, man. If not, just check them out on your phone, at home, or wherever you listen to music, man. So anyways, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to share, like, and this and that. So thank you, guys and girls, one more time from your friend James, from all the staff here at That Metal Interview Podcast. And don't forget to keep it metal.